Hey there, Evangel. It's Pastor Patty here, and we're just super excited to be introducing some awesome people to you that you may already know or you may not know quite yet. We're here today with Tim Schindel, who is the head of Leading Influence Ministry, which I'm going to get him to describe in just a moment, but I'm going to say in short form, it's like a chaplaincy support service kind of thing for government in Canada, which I've been wanting to introduce him to you for a while. We also have with us Grant and Anne Marie Freake, who are the pastors of our sister church, which is named the same as us, but just in Quebec City. So Evangel Church in Quebec City, and they are good friends, a fantastic church. And actually, Jeff and I went to school with Grant a long time ago. And so that friendship has been going on for a good while. So I want to just interview them and have them tell you a little bit about what they're doing. Tim, I'm going to start with you. Tell us what Leading Influence is. Tell us what it is you do and why do you care about government?
Happy to do that. Thanks for the opportunity, Patty. So Leading Influence began in 2007. I was a career pastor, much like you and Grant Anne Marie, and left our church. We were pastoring in the interior of British Columbia and began this journey of just walking along with leaders through a ministry of presence and serving them. And supporting them, encouraging them, and allowing God to open doors of opportunity into their lives where we could speak the heart and mind of God to them. And so, you know, we function primarily as a ministry of presence. So we're non-political, we're non-partisan, we're non-issue. We're not there to try and change government's mind on anything. We just want to get to know them and walk along with them and support them and be a blessing to them. So the premise is basically this, is that there are many people who have many different strategies on how to shape a nation and how to have influence in the nation. And our premise is really this, is that if we can reach leaders, we can shape a nation. And so across the country, there are about 1,450 members in upper level government, so provincial and federal government. And so our premise is this, that if we can impact that group with the gospel of Jesus, with the person of Jesus, and even just for them to understand that Christians are not always angry and antagonistic and anti, right? That can shift a whole lot of things within our culture and society. And so that's what we do. So today we have chaplains in Victoria, so British Columbia, in Edmonton, in Saskatchewan, in Ontario. I'm working in Ottawa, and Grant Anne Marie, we're going to introduce them a little bit later, but they're going to be joining our team in Quebec City. And so we're really excited about that, and just to kind of see this unfold as God opens doors for us across the country.
Wow, that is so fantastic. So I'm smiling at the reference you just made to helping people in government understand that Christians aren't always angry and anti-everything. And, you know, I keep telling our church that we all think we're quite delightful, but not everyone might say that all the time.
Yes.
So let's flip the tables on that, flip that a little bit. What do you wish Christians knew about people that are in government, or what we thought about them? Because sometimes we can see it as just this faceless entity that is anti-everything. What do you wish?
I think that's a really good question, Patty. I think what we need to understand is that politicians are people, number one, right? They're people, and number two, they are people just like us. So politicians and Christians, politicians and pastors really have a lot in common, in the sense that we are willing to lay down our lives for something bigger than we are, right? You know, we do that. We lay down our lives for the cause of Christ, and we lay down our lives because we want to see the gospel advance. And these are people who lay down their lives because they believe in a particular vision for the province or the city or for the nation, for that matter. And so it's important for us to understand that these are people just like us, and that we have probably more in common with them in terms of our motivations than most people do. So that's an important thing for us to remember. The other thing to remember is that if you've ever led anything, and I mean anything, right, you understand out of the gate, people are going to criticize you. People are going to find fault. And the reason that they criticize and they find fault is because they don't understand the dynamics and the issues. So if you've ever taught a Sunday school class, or you've led a ministry department, or you've sat on a church board, or whatever it might be along the way, right? You understand that the issues are much more complex when you're up close and personal than they are when you're watching a 30-second news bite, sound or video clip, right, on the news at night. And so it's simple to go, oh, they're an idiot, or they're so stupid, or whatever. But the reality is that they are dealing with things at such a big level that the slightest shift to the right or to the left has enormous impacts that most of us have no appreciation of.
Wow. That it's quite a bit, I think, that our government representatives deal with. And we probably forget that most of the time from the little sound bites. And we just think, well, that's obvious. And what is wrong with people? And we make big assumptions.
Yeah, we do.
That are pretty unfair, probably.
Yeah.
Tim, talk to us about Grant and Anne Claire. And I'd love to hear from you guys as well. What's next? What's happening? Talk to us about Quebec.
Well, we met Grant and Anne Claire last year during the Pray Canada campaign that Evangel was a part of. And so in November, we had a couple of conversations about what we did and what ministry with us looks like, that kind of a thing. And so they toured me around Quebec City last year, which was incredible. And we had a great day together. And then we just had some conversations about our need and our desire to plant a chapel and have a ministry presence in Quebec City, what that would look like, et cetera, et cetera. And so Grant and Anne Claire have gone on a very sincere journey, in processing this with the Lord about seeking confirmation, et cetera, about what this could look like for them. And so we're glad to have them join us. Right now, joining our team is kind of an odd thing because there's no assembly to go to. There's nobody gathering. And so there's, it's a little bit different. So really for them right now, it's about positioning themselves and getting ready for the future. They're not resigning their church right now. It's just really an extension of their ministry out of Evangel in Quebec City. So we're really, really happy to have them. And Grant and Anne Claire, why don't you say hello and have a little chit chat.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks again, Patty, and for having us today. And it's really heartwarming too because I did my internship in Evangel Pentecostal Church in Montreal in 1999.
Wow.
So, and some of the people are still there, I think, probably watching this right now. So hi to all of you who know the Freak from Labrador. And I married my wife a couple of years later, and we've been in Quebec City. Actually, it was not 99. It was when we graduated from East, 92, it was in Montreal at Evangel. Yeah, in 99, we got married in 94, and 99 we were in Quebec, and been in Quebec City at Evangel Pentecostal Church for over 20 years. And, met Tim, like Tim said, last year, and God has been speaking to us and encouraging us to go on this adventure with Leading Influence Ministries and see how we can minister as chaplains in Quebec City in the National Assembly, and had an opportunity to go with Tim in the fall to National Assembly and assist in a session and just start to feel out the territory and just see where God is leading us. And God has been confirming, He's been speaking.
As for me, it's been years, I think since 2008, that I've been actively praying in different prayer network for government, for our national government and provincial one. And so it's been through intercession that the Lord has birthed me a passion to pray for our elected leader for years and years. It was more in the undercover role, but now when we started on the last election during the summer, the Lord really put on my heart to gather leaders in my region to pray for the election. And so doing, and I think it was in August, September. Anyway, I started to put together a meeting that was going to happen in our church, and we invited a few churches leader and their pastors. And that's how we got it actually connected with Pray Canada, with Tim Schindel and Leading Influence. And And out of that came the series of conversation with Tim. And I think that I know someone said, you cannot influence unless you love. And if you want change in our nation, if you want change in our leaders, we need to love them. We need to support them. And loving means praying for them. And as we seek the heart of God, the love of God will be birthed. If we sincerely seek the heart of God for our nation and for our political leaders, then the love of God will be birthed in our heart. Then, of those people, then we can receive the heart of God, and God will give us favor.
That's awesome. I love it. That's my language. Just serving people with love and praying for them and seeing what God does through that. I think that's fantastic. I'm so excited that you are starting this in Quebec. There's a whole new thing for our province, and I'm delighted. We're really excited to see where this goes. Where can we find you all online, or how can we follow you, or is that even set up yet?
Yeah, so leadinginfluence.com is where our website is, and you can find out more about our information there. Grant and Anne Claire don't have a page yet, but that's in the works, and that should happen pretty quickly, and you would just find them under our chaplains page. But I do want to take a moment to say, hey, listen, here's a way for you to be involved with us. In every province where we are active, we have a daily prayer network. So every Monday to Friday, we are praying for a different member by name. And we have a team of people who write those prayers, and we publish them up, circulate it on social media, et cetera, et cetera. So you could go, for example, to Pray Ontario, for example, right, and find us on social media, or on the website as well under our prayer networks. But we really want to put a network up for Quebec. And so we need some help to make that happen. And we might have a champion in Anne Claire. I'm not sure yet, but I think we probably do. Someone to coordinate for us. But we need some people who will write for us and translate and all of those other things so that we can do a good job of this. And we know this, that at first members, they're kind of taken aback when they find out that there's people praying for them, because in their world, everybody wants something, right? And so it takes a little bit of time until they get over the fact that, look, these people don't want anything, right? They're just asking that God would help us do their job better and do our job better. And one of the really interesting things in that dynamic is you've got people who don't even believe, it's not like these are believers or some, who are even remotely inclined, and yet they love it when they find out that other people are praying for them. I take great delight when my atheist politician friends go, hey, that was a really great prayer your people put up for me the other day. And they don't believe that it's going anywhere, but they really like the prayer. And over time, it builds this goodwill, and it undoes some of the perception that government has about the church. And the other piece is that it's fascinating to me to see how the Spirit is at work. As people are writing these prayers, because we're scheduling 6 weeks in advance. So as people are being assigned these prayers and asking the Lord to give them wisdom and guidance, they'll write things, right, that just feel right in the moment. And we'll hear, as we have a relationship with members coming to us saying, how did you know that I would be dealing with that on this day? Right, and which is always a fascinating thing, and it positions us to be able to minister from this place of credibility, right? Because they have seen that, now they're experiencing the Spirit at work on their behalf, and they're curious about how that happens, and it gives us an opportunity to leverage. So, Evangel Montreal, we really need your help on this, and would love to have you, be a part of writing prayers along with us. That would be fantastic.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much for just giving us this time today and letting us know what's happened. I know we're going to keep on following you really closely and making sure that our members know where to find you and how we can support and how we can pray and help and write and all of those things, Tim, that you just said. Grant and Anne Claire, congratulations. We're very excited for you, and I'm really excited to see what God does. So God bless you. Thanks for talking with us today.
Thanks, Patty. God bless you, Angela.
Thank you. God bless you, Evangel.